how I live, how I eat, how I dress, how I shop, how I move through the world, how I see myself, how I see others. That's yoga. To me, yoga is the solution to pretty much every problem that we're facing in the world today. Those of you who know my background know that I come originally from an academic background in psychology. Now, by God's grace and the grace of Mother Ganga, I've had the amazing blessing of spending the last almost 30 years living here, immersed in spirituality. But from both perspectives, the problems that we face, if you look from a societal level, a psychological level, a level of that which is ailing our planet today, we see depression, we see anxiety, we see loneliness rates that are skyrocketing. We obviously see a lot of physical illness and dis-ease. We've eradicated almost all of that, which was killing us 100 years ago, that came from rats or mosquitoes or bad water. And we're now getting sick and dying from diseases that are basically due to a system being out of balance. A system gone awry, from the way we think, to the way we live, to the way we eat, to the way we interact. So whether you're looking at physical dis-ease, or whether you're looking at depression and loneliness and addiction, and obviously, of course, they are not separate, but whatever way you are looking into this state of unbalance, lack of alignment that we are living with, climate change, environmental destruction, wars, it's systems that are out of balance, whether it's my physical body, my muscles, my bones, my blood, my organs, whether it's me and the seasons, me and the locality I live in, or whether it's me and Mother Earth. We are out of balance, my friends, and yoga is that brings us back into alignment. We know from an etymological standpoint that the word literally means union, to unite. And in that union, it is a reminder of the truth of who we are, which is not separate. So when I say that it's the solution to even that which seems psychological, depression, loneliness, anxiety, well, those arise because we live in the myth of separation. If I feel separate from myself, from the divine, from the universe, from each other, from the trees and the water, well, naturally I'm going to suffer. Naturally I'm going to feel depressed and anxious and lonely. And out of that, I'm going to become an instrument of bringing suffering to the planet. Because if I'm an object and everything else is an object and I'm living in a state of othering, well then sure, why not cut down the trees? Why not exploit people of a certain color or race or gender? Because hey, they are other. They're not me. And whether it's our indigenous sisters and brothers in the Amazon, whether it is all other species on this planet, whatever way of othering we are looking at, yoga is the solution to it, because yoga reminds us there is no other. So in our practice of the attainment of that realization, because it's important to remember the word yoga is a noun, not a verb. It's who we are. It's how we are. It's not what we do for 30 minutes or 60 minutes or 90 minutes. It's that which, as Anandji was saying so beautifully, infuses every minute of who we are and every aspect of who we are. So how I think, how I live, how I eat, how I dress, how I shop, how I move through the world, how I see myself, how I see others. That's yoga. And lastly, so many of us, I would venture to say all of us, want on some very deep level to be instruments, channels of healing on this planet. We see the hatred, we see the division, we see the violence, we see the suffering, and we want in some way to be an instrument, a channel that brings light and healing. Yoga is the best way I know, because only when we are aligned within ourselves are we able to actually be efficient and effective instruments in the hands of the divine to bring real healing to the world. Otherwise, we just run around, holding pickup signs and yelling about this or yelling about that, or starting this organization or starting that organization or raising money for this, and all of those are great things. But we need so much more in the world today. And the only way for us to really be instruments of that healing is to get in alignment. That body, mind, soul, that jivatma to paramatma, that remembrance that we never were separate to begin with, so it's actually a reunion rather than a union, or a remembrance of a union that never stopped being a union. And in that, our very being becomes a solution to the problems that our world is facing.